Folks, welcome back to the W.A.D.E concept presented by The Ring. My name is Wade Plemons. Today I am sitting down with one half of the main event for Ring 3 this Saturday in New York City. Hamzah Sheeraz, how we doing, my man?
I'm very well, yourself?
Doing well, doing well. You've come across the pond.
Yep.
You've made New York your home for the last week and change. How are you feeling being in the city?
Yeah, good. Been getting shown a lot of love here.
Yeah.
Just like being at home.
Yeah, you know, it seems like some people may know you a little more now than even your opponent, Edgar Berlanga. That was one of the funniest skits, I will say, and I've seen it in a while. Was that pretty fun to go and ask
No, it was good. It was different, not something I'd normally do.
Yeah. You were a natural, by the way.
Yeah, no, thank you, bro.
Holding the mic and back and forth. I was like, this guy knows, man.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. It was interesting. I mean, I was trying to find someone who knew who he was to kind of balance out the video, but no, we didn't get that far.
Did you get anybody?
No, we didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, what does that tell you about who's the star of this card?
Yeah, I don't think he's quite the star that he thinks he is in his head, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, he thinks a lot of things, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, I just sat down with him. He's predicting a knockout, as he said many times, as he said in the face-to-face.
Yeah.
I asked him about your guys' bet. I want to ask you, is the $100,000
It's there.
bet?
You see the handshake?
Yeah.
It's there. It's on camera.
Okay. Now, someone else asked this is a good question. Pounds or dollars?
It's got to be pounds, isn't it?
It works out better when
It
it's
works out
pounds.
better.
Okay, so let's get down to it here. You know, obviously a lot of fun and games in the build-up, but now it's time. And when you sat down, I asked you how you feel, and I didn't even really need you to answer because I could see it in your eyes. You're locked in, man.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think my first fight here in the US, I'm here with a point to prove, especially after my last performance, and especially against someone who talks that much shit. Do you know what I mean? But then again, I'm not emotionally involved in this fight. I think the minute I become emotionally involved is the minute I'm not at an advantage. So I've used what I've had to use from him as fuel in the camp, and now, like I've done all the hard work. The hard work's been done. I can't get fitter. I can't get stronger now, and we're ready for Saturday night.
Do you expect him to really ramp it up this week?
Probably will. But nothing I'm not expecting. Do you know what I mean? Nothing I'm not expecting. But my main focus is Saturday night, to go in there and do what I've got to do.
Yeah. Well, when you are here in New York and you talk about, you know, your last performance, not his last performance, but his performance versus Canelo, I think both of you guys have something to prove here. Who do you think has a little more pressure in this fight?
I think there's pressure on both ends. You know what I mean? There's pressure on both ends because the plans that are laid out for me, and there's pressure on his end fighting in his hometown. You know what I mean? He puts pressure on himself, to be fair. But at this level, you've got to perform. Do you know what I mean? You've got to perform, and
do you kind of like that too, having that pressure? I feel like it gets you going.
It does, because you'd rather have that than have a kind of flat build up to a fight. Because then it's not hard to get up for it, but it's not the same. It's not the same. And the moment I've had this, I've had it once or twice before in my career. I've showed up, and that's what I plan to do on Saturday.
I feel like these fights really tell you where you're at in your career, tell you who you are, and they, like you said, they flesh out these next plans for you. When you go in there Saturday with all this stuff in mind, what does it feel like for you to get the job done you need to do in the fight?
It's gonna feel great. I know that, but now it's just about going through the game plan in the mind, kind of going through it, going through what could happen, what can't happen. You know how it goes, and then just a matter of delivering it on the night, and at the same time having fun with it, because it's not every day you get to fight in New York at the Louis Armstrong Stadium.
Do you get to take time to take all that in, or
this is the first fight week I've ever done that, to be fair, because I've said, like, I've learned from my experience before, especially before my last fight. I was like, oh, it's a world title fight. This is it, or this is the end. Do you know what I mean? And it takes the fun away from what you're doing. It takes the fun away from what you're doing. So this fight week, like myself and the team, have been enjoying it a lot more. And I think the reason being is because I know I've put in the work. You know, I know I've put in the work, and I might as well enjoy it and then get a taste for it, and hopefully there's more to come.
So lay out a perfect, without you going into game plan specific, perfect fight for Hamzah Sheeraz.
I'll go in there for a right hand, that's it. And it's
right
done.
hand, it's over with.
Over, finished.
You don't get paid overtime, right?
Exactly. But whatever, I think it'll be good to put on an entertaining fight for the fans.
I was gonna say, because sometimes too, you want to showcase that hard
Yeah,
work, right?
yeah.
You want to showcase what you've learned in camp, and now you're with the great Andy Lee. You want to showcase the things that you're getting better at.
Yeah, no, for sure, and you want to entertain. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Especially with the way His Excellency is changing the sport now.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, you want to deliver.
Yeah.
It's like, look at boxing now. It's how it was many years ago when you had the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Tommy Hearns, but now the fighters are getting paid crazy money for these fights. So it should be our duty to deliver to His Excellency, to deliver to the fans, and to deliver to the people of boxing as well.
Yeah. For this fight, Edgar has said, pretty clear, he wants to knock you out cold and interrupt your plans. You've also spoken about plans as well. What are those plans that you see? Obviously, not overlooking the fight.
Yeah, no, for sure. I've only seen what's been put out online, because I've learnt from my previous mistakes of not overlooking the fight, but making plans after fights and whatnot. So, as of now, it's just been purely Edgar Berlanga for me.
We have the press conference on Thursday.
Yeah.
I know we talked about some theatrics. Do you have anything you're bringing?
No, not really.
No,
not really. Just me. You just see me.
Because he's gonna.
Yeah, I know. It's just it's part of what he does. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not knocking that. I'm not knocking that at all. I've said, if anything, it's good for boxing because it brings the viewers. Yeah. Not everyone can be a gentleman, otherwise the game would be boring. But yeah, I'm definitely expecting something.
When this fight goes down, Saturday, you're in the main event. You're walking to the ring, step inside, they ring the bell, round one, walk me through it. Without just the right hand and it's over. What do you expect out of him? And
I expect aggression. I expect just emotion. And I've got to use that to my advantage. Use that to my advantage.
So you think you'll fight a lot more emotionally? Yeah,
I do think that. But then at the same time, I can't think about too much what he's doing.
All you, yeah.
Because exactly, the energy has to be on me, has to be what I've been doing in the gym. Yeah. Implement that, and then I get the win.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, because this move up to 168, obviously you want to go and after this fight, when you get your win, look forward. There is the Canelo and Crawford fight looming out there. Yeah. I'm sure you got some eyes on that. Any thoughts on how that potentially goes down?
Listen, great fight, one for the ages. But if you want a prediction from me, I've got Canelo winning via a late stoppage.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's weight class for reasons. But I don't think it'll be easy. I think it'll be tricky for the first half of the fight, and then I think he will take over. And that's purely based off the kind of weight division aspect of the sport. But then again, listen, Terence Crawford is one of them fighters who could just show up and completely just rip up the script and do not what you expected him to do. So that's my prediction. Whether it's going to be right or wrong, I don't know.
Hold him to it. $100,000 on the line, he said. I heard it. No. Last thing, because you're going to see him all week, because you're fighting him in the main event, because you're looking for the victory, give me your message to Edgar Berlanga.
In all honesty, I don't have one. I don't have no message to him whatsoever. The only thing I would say was hopefully fight night, the best version of him turns up.
And if that version turns up, what happens?
Hamzah Sheeraz wins.
Knockout?
Knockout points. Knockout would be lovely, to be fair. Knockout would be lovely. But a win regardless.
There he is. Confident look in his eye. I would not want to mess with this man this week. One half of the main event, sitting down with me ahead of his banger of a fight this Saturday, Hamzah Sheeraz. You'll see it live on DAZN.